Hey, what's up, y'all? Excuse me, so unprofessional. It's cold today. Okay, it's March the 4th, and it is freezing outside. So I got my heat on. You probably can hear it. And we got to get this video done because I ain't got no gas to be running no heat. But we're here for Iyanla Fix My Life. I hope you guys are having a really good day. Lips all ashy. It's just cold. Got the jacket all zipped up. I'm looking for my notes. All right. So this is a two-part episode, so I don't even want to get like heavy into the episode because the rest of it is going to come on next week, and we'll get into more of the conversation then because the mama is going to be there. But we have these 4 children who were raised in the foster care system. They were abused, they were molested, and they were forced to do acts of abuse on each other. They were starved. Some of the boys were beaten. I'm not sure about the girl. And they're all stair-stepper ages. We got the twins who are 28. That is Kadara and Kareem. Then we have Michael, who is 29. And then we have William, who is 30. And then they have an older sister who was not raised in foster care, who's 32. And her name is Shalamir. I hope I'm saying that right. So they start out with these trash bags. Kareem is the one who called the show, so he comes in first. And they start out with these trash bags because that's how they lived a lot of their lives. And each time they're pulling something out the trash bag that reminds them of their childhood. So they're pulling out things like, for the girl, a megaphone because she lost her voice. Even when she cries, it's silent. Kareem, he pulled out, I'm trying to see here. Kadeem? Is it Kadeem or Kareem? I could have spelled it wrong. I think it's Kareem. One of them pulled out a crock pot because one of them got hit in the head with a crock pot. That was the youngest one that pulled that out. Michael pulled out bread and water because it was Kadeem. Michael pulled out bread and water because he was so hungry, and that used to be all they would give him to eat. Michael also has epilepsy due to the trauma that he experienced as a child because they were beaten so much. He has experienced problems with epilepsy. There's another one that was locked up Okay, he wasn't locked up for 16 years, but they haven't seen him in 16 years. So I couldn't tell if he had been arrested for that long. Well, he would have only been about 15, so unless he went from juvie to adult jail. He was in jail for some time. That's where he discovered the Lord and got to reading his word. So he is a changed man, but he was in jail for some time and hasn't seen his siblings in 16 years. And then you have Shalamir, who was not raised in foster care. She actually takes a crown out of hers because to them, she's this princess who was raised differently and didn't experience what they experienced. But hold on. So when they sit down and they begin telling their story, Kadeem says that he wrote because he wants their family to come together. They're all each other has. It's not that he hates his mother, but he just doesn't have any feelings towards his mother. Her name is Rita, because Rita was on drugs. And even though their oldest sibling got to go with the grandmother, I'm guessing the grandmother just couldn't handle taking in all of them. And tragically enough, that does happen a lot of times. And so they went into the foster care system and were eventually adopted. But they went into the foster care system for many years. And he says that if his mother was to die, he would feel no type of way about it. But he feels bad even saying that because that's the woman, I think he was trying to say, that gave me life. And Iyanla was just like, she gave birth to you. She didn't give you a life. And it's okay to say that. And that's one of the things that I love about the show. A lot of the stuff that people try to stop you from saying, like, don't say you hate nobody. Don't say you feel like that. That's your mama. No. This is how I feel, and I should be able to say how I feel. Now, I can work through it later, but let me say how I feel. You don't know my experience. And so I'm glad Iyanla allowed him to say, hey, this is just how I feel. So him being the youngest, I guess he feels like a lot of their problems have fallen onto him, and Iyanla even makes mention of that when she sits the 3 boys down, because she was like, you all share the womb. So everything that y'all have left behind in your mother, figuratively, the youngest child has had to deal with. Of course, he is a twin, though. It's Kadeem and Kadara. They're twins. And so they have a very special relationship. So Kadeem has experienced a couple of different problems. He's a fighter. He is gay. And I'm sure that has had a lot to play in with him having to fight all the time. He was starved, he was raped, he was beaten, all of these different things, right? All of them experienced that starved, rape, and being beaten. So then we get to Kadara, who is just the quietest thing I've ever seen in my life. Iyanla actually takes her outside to try to get her to let some of that sound out and yell. And what I noticed about all of them were uncomfortable with the exercises. She was told to yell at this mailbox, and I would have felt funny initially, but Iyanla's saying, find your voice. Find your voice. You're crying and it's silent. Tell that mailbox, I hate you. I hate you for what you did to me. So she starts telling the mailbox, you know, I hate you for what you've done. I hate you for raping me. I hate you for taking away my innocence. All these different things, right? Now, y'all tell me, what was going on with the camera crew? I ain't never seen them so disheveled. Like, you could see them running all in the background, I guess because they were outside the neighborhood and there wasn't maybe a lot of yard space because they were in the street. But I kept seeing members of the crew. I even saw some lady in white near the fireplace, and I guess she thought she was out of way of the camera because she was like, I said, girl, we can see you. And we can see you really good. But anyway, that was just something I noticed. Let's get back on subject. So she has her get mad, and Kadara just talks about how she was given bread and water and told that she wasn't going to eat until she did something with her brothers, or she wasn't going to get to eat. And so she made the decision that not eating was fine. That was fine with me. I'm not doing nothing with them. Y'all remember that because it's going to come up later. Okay? Shalamir is glad to be there with her siblings. She knows that they believe that she was raised differently and she was given a better life. In a lot of ways, she was. Okay? She wasn't in the same situation that they were in, but it didn't stop her from being molested. And to me, this just goes to show that a family pathology can take place even when you don't know anything about it. I have a brother right now who does things that his father does, but he doesn't know anything about who his father was as a person and those things that he did in the past. But the pathology repeated itself. That's why I tell my mom and my aunts, it's not good to me in a family unit to keep a bunch of secrets, because they're going through things and they need to know why. This is more than just happenstance that they're going through the same thing that their parent went through. This is a pathology. This is why I have a hard time understanding people who don't believe in any type of universal or spiritual principles. Even if you're not religious, like, you have to know that some of these things don't just happen by chance. You don't know anything about this person or their lives or what they're going through, but y'all all shared the exact same situation, and you were with family. They weren't, but y'all still all got the same thing. It's a pathology. It's spiritual. It's a lot of stuff wrapped up in that. Anyway, so Shalamir is talking to Iyanla about the rape. She never has told her siblings about it. And Iyanla believes you do need to tell your siblings because they don't know your story. They think you was raised as a princess. And that's not what happened for you. Then she tells Shalamir, and y'all know I got a problem with this because I'm the oldest, you have to accept responsibility that your mother Rita has left behind. You have to accept it as the top of the line. And I was just like, see, no, I understand where Iyanla is coming from, you guys. But I hate that you're the oldest, so this is what you need to accept and this is what you have to do. But I get it. I take that on in my family, but it don't always mean I want to. But I do take it on. Anyway. Michael. Bless Michael's heart. When the boys got together and they began to talk about their pain and their hurt and where they wanted to get to as brothers, Michael has this, first of all, he has these big eyes. At first I thought Shalamir looked nothing like them until I looked at Michael. And, yeah, have y'all ever met people who, and maybe you do this too, who hold stuff in, right? Okay, I'll give you myself, for example. When I get mad, I have to remind myself to go, or when I get nervous or anything like that of the sort, I carry my stress in my neck, right like here, around my shoulder blades, and in my head. Okay? So when I get upset, I have to remind myself, relax your face. Like I have a permanent bump right here in the middle of my forehead because I used to always look like this all the time. And so I have to remind myself to do that and breathe. Because when I don't, the next day I ache. And so people who hold stuff in like that always wonder, does their body hurt? Or internally, are their organs okay? Because when you tense up right now, do you see how that feels? Like how that can hurt your body when you're doing that all the time? When you hold stuff in, that's what you're doing. You're tensing up your body and your nerves. And so don't be surprised if your body is always aching if you're always stressed or anxious or worried. So when Michael was holding in his tears, his cry, sometimes it seemed like he was zoned out and Iyanla was trying to see, Michael, are you okay? I mean, he would literally just be almost shivering and nothing was escaping. When he finally cried, I said, thank God, because my heart was beating fast. I was like, is he okay? I didn't want him to, get a, I mean, oh my gosh, y'all. I know, for those of you who hold stuff in, please stop doing that. It is so not good for your body. If I feel tense just from 5 minutes of aggravation, imagine 29 years of holding stuff in. No way. No way. God bless his heart. It was just painful to watch. There's something going on with William and Kadara. I am under the impression that they all had to do things to each other in order to eat. When William is taken to the side with Iyanla, he says that he blames himself for not being able to protect his family. He blames himself for what he wasn't able to do. And he has a very hard time admitting to the word molestation. And Iyanla, he was uncomfortable with his exercise too. I would have been as well. Don't put my face down in no dirt. But it was part of the exercise, y'all. William whispers the word molestation into the dirt and they bury it. And when they get to the table, he says that it would be times where he would be so hungry and he wasn't allowed to come upstairs and eat unless he did stuff to them. And so we learn that's where the guilt is coming from. Not so much that he wasn't able to protect them. That too, though. But a big part of it is the heavy guilt. He says that God will never forgive me for that. For what I did to my siblings. He kept saying, I can tell my sister is having a hard time with me. And I was just like, what is he talking about? But now we recognize, we understand, because he committed sexual acts against them just so he would be able to eat. But like I said, I was under the impression that they all had to do it to each other. So I'm wondering if because William was the older boy, they kind of tried to make him do it the most, maybe. I'm not sure. But he would do acts against his sister. Not really sure about the brothers. But I'm almost starting to wonder if it happened between him and Kadara the majority of the time or something. Because the hurt that she carries towards William is very, very great. And no amount of clearing off the table the way Iyanla was doing, nothing seemed to be easing her. She didn't even want to look at him. And she does let him apologize to her and say, forgive me for what I was doing just so I could eat. Forgive me for how I hurt you because I didn't know no better. And she apologizes too, and they hug, but it just seemed like more work is going to have to be done there. And it's horrible because this is your brother, this is your older brother. I don't know. I mean, how much do you change when your opinion of men change when your own brothers are the ones consistently raping you? I don't know, y'all, but there's something more there that she feels more strongly towards William than her other brothers, her other two brothers. So I feel so bad. I still feel bad. I'm having a hard time even doing this review. So that was the bulk of what happened in the episode. We'll talk about the rest next week. But I wondered, with William and not being able to forgive himself and how he was having a hard time talking about what happened. You guys know a lot of times when you find God and you start to live your life to a certain code, sometimes it can be hard for therapeutic techniques to take their hold on you because you've already made up so much hellfire damnation in your mind that you can't even get to a healing process. Because sometimes, when you real religious, y'all know I grew up in the church. You believe you could just pray everything away and let that be that. And sometimes this therapy, spiritual stuff can just kind of get to be like, what is all that? I don't do all that. And so I wondered if that was why William was having a hard time with the exercises, but probably just because of the seriousness of everything that was going on. But it was sad, y'all. I don't know. I do hope this family is able to get through it. And we're going to talk to that, we're going to talk to that Rita next week. I ain't going to vilify her yet because I don't know her story, but she gets the side eye from me until I hear what she got to say. But it was rough. I feel for them. Now here they are, adults with all this trauma and hurt. They had to molest and rape each other. Y'all siblings. Just ridiculous. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think. And I'll see y'all tomorrow because it's March Madness. All right, bye.